Yesterday, there was tribal clashes in Sondu area. And it leads me to question some issues relating to how the tribal clashes were administered, the way they were carried out. The attacks involved a group of Kalenjin young men who went and attacked Luos in the area. And we have seen that all the attacked, and some people lost lives. And even one guy was, some of the guys were actually saved by the police. But the question is, who organized these tribal clashes? Because every time you have heard of war within the Kalenjin region, the truth of the matter is that it is always organized. It is always organized. These people come prepared, and there's always knowledge from somebody at the top. Apparently, this was a reaction to maandamano. And apparently, some people claim that it was a reaction to some properties that belonged to some of the Kalenjins that were destroyed by the demonstrators. How true that is, I hold to question. And if that is true, the question is, somebody must have sat down, realized that the property has been destroyed, went and called in this group of armed young men and had them attack particular people in the region. Because I didn't see any attack that was lobbied against any other. Although we may give this the laxity of the fact that the two are the major inhabitants of that community. But the Kenya Kwanza leaders in the region must tell us clearly who paid these young men. Because if they were not paid, they had been sent by somebody with very clear instructions. And we saw the police presence in that region. And the young men were there with their bows and their arrows. Nobody arrested any of them, despite the fact that they were clear as daylight in the presence of police with arrows and bows. A clear indication that the police were aware of the situation and they were under very strict instructions not to interfere with the bowstringers. The question is, who has the capacity to organize such kind of a situation in the police force? Because it means that, the police are a systematic group. When they go to a place, for example, when they go to Mbakasi, there's always knowledge from the top. The Inspector General is aware, the sub-county commissioners and all the regional departmental heads, they're aware that there is a certain group that is somewhere to mitigate a certain situation, and these are their clear instructions. They work under very clear instructions. Unless somebody comes and tells us that the police force has become impulsive today. Because the police, the kind of police I know, they are always given clear instructions. You are going there, and this is what you are going to do. So there was very clear instructions not to get those young men using that kind of information, not to arrest any of them, because none of them, we didn't see any of them getting arrested. And if the government was to be very clear, very open with us, we saw people getting arrested during the maandamano, just for shouting, just for being rowdy. We saw some people getting arrested. Why were these young men not arrested? And then, to make matters worse, we saw the Kericho governor and other leaders of the Kericho region coming out to attack Kenya Kwanza and trying to put the blame on them. And the question is, who is playing who? But I want to tell the people of the country that we are headed for darker times. And this is the comeback of the Moi era, where young men from the same regions would attack people from other communities, unprovoked or with provocation. And they would kill them, they would steal their properties, they would destroy their properties. And the police would actually provide them with protection. Let them lie to us that it is the Azimio and they are only reacting to maandamanos. But we are not stupid. We are not thick in the heads. It lies clear as daylight that these people are organized. These people have instructions. And to be real, the president must be in the know. You know, he is today sitting in the background. He has no. I have not heard him talk about that issue, even in his speech today. But the truth of the matter is that he must be aware of what is going on. The question is, will there be any action? Will there be any response? And if not, what will happen? Are we going to witness 2007 again knocking on our doors? Or are we going to see 1992, 1998, 1997, 1992, and all those other years that there have been tribal clashes in that region? Is that what is coming back? All we can do is wait and watch. But as we do that, let us pray for our country. All I can wish Kenyans is peace, because that is the only thing that we want. And as I end up this discussion, I want to ask Kenyans to stand firm together, because whether you like it or not, you are neighbors, you are brothers, you are sisters, you are friends, you are interdependent, and nobody can live without the other. A Kikuyu will not live without a Kalenjin will not survive without a Luo will not survive without the Kisi, and all the other communities. The Taita will not live without the Kikuyus and the Kalenjins. We are one. By the end of the day, we are going through the same problems. Let us not be divided by bipartisan leaders who are coming to us as bipartisan, but are going behind our backs as partisan. I know that some leaders may be tempted and will attempt and have attempted to pay young men and women to disrupt peace and to fight their fellow Kenyans. But ask yourself every time you receive that kind of money as a young man, what is going to happen to your father or mother if they happen to be passing in such a region with another group of young men like you who are not in your know or in your fold? Let us understand that we do not have any other Kenya. And whether we ban it, it is upon your hands. Whether you decide to destroy it, it is upon your hands. People have lost lives. Property has been destroyed. People have a right to demonstrate. People have a right to picket. But let us avoid destroying properties. Let us avoid harming each other. Because this game as it stands right now, it is a game of the people versus the government. And the moment some fraction of the people will accept to be used as a people against the people, this game is going to be lost. And this is why Kenya has always become a political vague, has always ended up in political vagueness, because people stand up against their fellow people who they are suffering the same kinds of problems. When a Kalenjin is dying of hunger, a Luo is dying in hunger. Not in the literal sense, but on the economic sense. When people are suffering in Kericho, people are also suffering in Homa Bay. People are also suffering in Mount Kenya. People are also suffering in Taita Taveta. People are also suffering in Turkana. So nobody is left. But then they come to you and tell you, oh, those people who are not ours, and those people of that community, beware of those leaders, because they will not leave you alive also. They will call you our brothers. They will call you our sisters. They will call you our own until it is time to disown you. Because get arrested and go to court and tell me how many of them are going to come to your rescue. Be prepared. Don't do that kind of stupidity. All I want to leave you with, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if politics is anything you are passionate about, don't forget to tell me so below in your comments, and I will love to hear it from you. Goodbye. This is Mkenya TV.